Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. Recently, there's been a lot of concerns with KuCoin because recently the CEO has been charged by the US for supposedly doing criminal things with the exchange. And because of this, there's been a massive exodus of Kaspa from KuCoin. And you can see that they're only down to one wallet address right here that has about 73 million Kaspa. But you could see that at one point there was around 300 million in this wallet, and it's just been rapidly declining. People are doing two things. They're either moving to a different exchange or moving to wallets. And I've been seeing a lot of questions recently about which Kaspa wallets should you be using. So in this video, I'm hopefully going to run down the most popular wallets for Kaspa and rank them from least favorable to most favorable. So the first group of wallets we're going to be talking about are hot wallets. Now, if you don't know what a hot wallet is, it's basically a wallet that generates a seed phrase while you are connected to the internet. If you don't know what a seed phrase is, seed phrases are a mix of words, and it could be in groups of 12, 24, or 18, and it looks something like this. It's a group of random words. Now, these random words are pulled from something called the BIP39 protocol. That is a list of 2048 words, and a random generator, when you create a wallet, picks these random words for you, and these words become your keys to your funds. And it is so important that you do learn about self-custody, because if you are holding your crypto on any exchange, then that means your crypto does not belong to you if you don't have your own keys. There's a saying in crypto called "not your keys, not your coins." So here we're going to be discussing the different types of wallets for Kaspa, and we're going to start with hot wallets here. So first off, we have the web wallet. Now, personally, I do not recommend the web wallet, and this is why it's the least favorable wallet for me personally to recommend to someone. I've even taken down the video tutorial about this wallet, and it's just because there's just cons that I just don't think outweigh the pros to this wallet. So if you don't remember, one time the Kaspa web wallet was attacked by a denial of service attack, which prevented people from accessing their funds completely on that website. And some people are careless to not even back up their seed phrase. So there was a period of time where you literally had no access to your funds. And also, the more times you have to import your seed phrase into different hot wallets, the much higher risk there is of your seed phrase being compromised. Now, the pros to this wallet is that it does have good seed phrase compatibility, meaning that you're able to import the seed phrase that's generated from the web wallet into other wallets. And I have this link that I'm going to put down below, which is a seed phrase compatibility chart, which shows you which wallets you can actually import the seed phrase into another wallet. And if we're looking at the web wallet here, you can see that it should work with Ledger, Caspium, KDX, the Cly wallet, and also it works with the paper wallet, meaning if you do generate a paper wallet, it should be able to be entered into a web wallet and get access. So the web wallet is the least favorable wallet that I would recommend. The cons with it is the website vulnerability, how sometimes it could get attacked by a denial of service attack. Not only that, it is more prone to user error, because if you do choose an incorrect website, which happens so many times, people come in the Discord and they chose an incorrect website and they put in their seed phrase, their funds get completely wiped. And so it is very, very important that if you are going to use this wallet, you do have the correct website, wallet.kaspanet.io. Make sure this is the website, because if you're not using this one, you could get your funds completely wiped. But I highly do not recommend this wallet because there are just better alternatives. Next, we have KDX. And the pros with KDX is the fact that you can actually run your own node with KDX. This can allow you to run your node for the Kaspa network and actually contribute to the network by making sure a node is running, which will keep Kaspa much more decentralized. There's also a less chance of user error because KDX is a desktop application, so the likelihood of you going to a wrong website doesn't really exist. And also the seed phrase compatibility for this is also really well. You could see here that KDX does have access to a few different wallets here to import your seed phrase. And then also another thing, it's free. There's no payment to use KDX. You can literally just download it to your desktop and start using it. Same thing with the web wallet. It is also free. So those are the good things about hot wallets is they're mainly free. They never usually cost money. The security is a little bit better with KDX. The cons to it is you need to wait to access your funds. And I have a video here that gives a KDX wallet tutorial that you should check out if you do want to consider this wallet. But you need to remember that this does connect to a node, and for your funds to be seen, the DAG sync right here needs to be at 100%. If it's not at 100%, you cannot access your funds, and it usually takes about 2 hours for your node to sync up to the network, and then you can start using KDX whenever you want. But just mind you, if you keep KDX off for a while and then try to turn it back on, it may take a while again for it to sync back up to the node. And then again, there are some user errors with this. They're just not as much as the website, but some user errors is the fact that you are using a computer when you have a KDX desktop application, and there is a chance for you to, by accident, cause a virus to go into your computer and cause your computer to just be vulnerable to some type of malware. So just be mindful of that. Make sure you are always being safe online, because if you're holding your funds on a computer and it gets compromised, then you could compromise your funds. Lastly, for the hot wallets, Caspium is the most favorable hot wallet in my opinion. I would tell anyone that's just starting out, just use Caspium instead of these two other ones, simply because there are really good pros with this. The seed phrase compatibility is also very, very good. We can check this here. You can see it's compatible with most other wallets. So if you ever do lose your phone, you can just go ahead and import it into other things. Also, there's multiple wallet support. So like with KDX or the web wallet, you're not able to make different accounts basically, but with Caspium, you are able to make different accounts. And I also do have a full-on Kaspa wallet app tutorial that you can check out. There will be links to everything in this video down below, so you can go ahead and check out these videos and learn a little bit more in detail about each wallet that I am discussing here. Now, the cons to this are pretty much bugs. There's sometimes bugs with the app, but because it's an app, there is the least chance of user error, because usually this app is going to be on an iPhone or Android, which are less susceptible to any types of malware or attacks. And so you pretty much don't have to worry about any of those kind of things, but you just got to worry about bugs sometimes, which may prevent you from being able to move money around, because maybe there's a bug with the node and you're not able to connect to the network. But this is very rare. These have been patched very well recently, and I've been using Caspium a lot and I've never had an issue with it. And so it's pretty good, but I would just never encourage anyone to use a hot wallet if you have very large funds. Hot wallets to me should be more like your change that you would keep in your wallet on you at all times, but I wouldn't recommend keeping tens of thousands of dollars on a hot wallet, because these are less secure ways of storing your funds, simply because the seed phrase is not generated offline. It is generated while you're connected to the internet, and that is a vulnerability. Even though 9 times out of 10 nothing will ever happen, 99% of reasons why people lose their funds is because of user error. It usually never has to do with someone just accessing their seed phrase out of nowhere and they go in, log in, funds are gone. It's 99% of the time you did something wrong. So next up, we're going to be talking about cold wallets, from least favorable to most favorable. Now, the least favorable one is going to be OneKey. And sadly, this could be on the top, but they just really need to fix a few things. But the pros for this is the seed phrase is completely offline. When you generate a seed phrase with OneKey, it is fully offline, so you don't have to worry about your seed phrase being exposed to the internet. Remember, never take a picture of it, always write it down and keep it safe. It's also fully open source and a cold storage device. So fully open source is always best, because that means anyone can check the code for any types of vulnerabilities with the device. And if there is anything found, they can patch it up and make sure it is secure as possible. Now, the cons to this for Kaspa specifically is it has really, really bad bugs. I have a complete tutorial of OneKey if you are interested in this. And ultimately, all of these wallets are all really good in terms of security and keeping your funds safe. But at the end of the day, it comes to preferences and little things that you just may not like. Like with OneKey, the bugs that are related to OneKey are more for like when you're going to be sending your funds. You're not really able to confirm your transaction and see exactly what's going on with the device for OneKey. So it's kind of like you're blind signing. And it kind of defeats the whole purpose of buying a OneKey wallet because it does have a separate hardware device and you're supposed to be able to confirm what you're seeing on your phone or on your desktop with the hardware wallet. You're not able to do this because of a bug. There's also some sending bugs, but I still use OneKey for a little bit of my funds simply because it is mainly just long-term holding. So I really don't care about these bugs because if I ever do want to send it, it's always best to just do a test transaction before you send a full-on amount to just make sure it is working fine. But 99% of the time, you're going to be okay. It is secure, but just be mindful of those bugs. Check out the videos that I have on OneKey that discusses the things I like and dislike about it. And then lastly, it is around about $100. They recently made a brand new OneKey device. It's called OneKey 1S now, I believe. And it's like a superior version to this because it's a little bit more secure. And so it now costs $100 instead of like $80 that it used to be. So it is a bit on the pricey side. So that is a con in my opinion. And then next we have Tangem. Now to me, Tangem and Ledger are both most favorable, but it literally just depends your preferences. But ultimately, when we're looking at all around features, Ledger is going to come on top when it comes to all around features. But Tangem and Ledger are pretty much my top picks when anyone's asking about how they should hold their Kaspa. So Tangem, the pros for Tangem is a fully offline seed phrase. With Tangem, you don't need a seed phrase. You simply need to buy cards, and these cards secure the key in a chip. And you buy either 3 or 2 cards. And you could see that for 3 cards, it's only $63. For 2 cards, it's $50. I always recommend to get 3 cards, please, just because you want to be on the safer side. If one of the cards do malfunction, which is very, very rare to happen, you want to have some more backups than just only 2, because if one goes down, then you're only down to 1. And if that one also goes down, you don't want to be in that situation because then your funds will be gone. Your funds are tied to the cards, and there's no way to access the funds or move them unless someone has the card and knows the password to the card. But yeah, there's no need to remember the seed phrase. It's super convenient and almost impossible to commit a user error. Yeah, the only user error you could commit is possibly downloading a wrong version of the Tangem app. That is a version to steal your funds, which has never existed before. No one has committed this type of attack where a fake Tangem app exists, but just always make sure you're downloading the Tangem app from the respective App Store or Play Store. And also, if you want to have some extra security, I personally don't update my Tangem app every single time a new update comes out. But if you want to go a little bit deeper into the security review and unboxing and how to purchase crypto within the Tangem app, I have a full-on video that goes really deep into Tangem, and you can do your research and make sure if it's best for you. But Tangem really is the most convenient and is really good for beginners in crypto to at least have their crypto securely stored away off exchanges. Lastly, we have the most favorable wallet in my opinion, and this is Ledger. Now the pros with Ledger is the seed phrase compatibility. You will also have pretty good seed phrase compatibility with Ledger. You can see there that it's compatible with Caspium and the Cly wallet or the paper wallet and the web wallet as well. And also with Ledger, the seed phrase is completely offline. Another pro for this is there's absolutely no bugs. Now, Ledger and OneKey are the only cold storage devices that are hardware devices that are separate from your phone or your desktop. Tangem, you use your phone for that, so it's a little bit different. And those are some of the cons with Tangem, is the fact that there's no hardware device. And some people think that's a vulnerability because you can't verify the transactions you're making with a separate device. But ultimately that's okay, because if you are using the correct Tangem app and your phone has no malware or anything like that, which is very, very unlikely to happen, you really don't have to worry about not having a hardware device. I have used Tangem for over a year, never experienced any problems. And also Tangem has like a 6-year history of no one ever losing their funds due to some type of hack or vulnerability. Anyone who has lost their funds has just basically lost it because they lose their cards. Like I said, 99% of loss of funds is user errors. And Ledger is just really great because it's just all around good. It has the features are all good. It's fully open source, but it does have some closed source components to it, like the chip that's on the device. But the device itself is completely offline, so it's not like it's connected to the internet. So the chip being closed source isn't too much of a big deal to me. And the cons with it is that there's no Ledger Live support if you're using Kaspa. I have a full video that does talk about how Ledger supports Kaspa. You have to use a website to be able to connect to your Ledger device. But just know that when you're using a hardware wallet, you never, ever, ever have to import your seed phrase of your physical device into a website or a desktop application. You never have to do that. The only time you should be importing your seed phrase is back into another separate hardware device. You should never be importing your seed phrase onto the website for Cas Vault. So there is a vulnerability if you do go to the wrong website for Cas Vault to connect your Ledger device. But you should know that you never, ever have to import your seed phrase to this website if you're using a Ledger. If you're using a Ledger, all you have to do is connect it to your computer and you should be able to access your funds just fine. Cas Vault is just basically an alternative to Ledger Live itself, but currently there is no Ledger Live support. Another con is that it has a bad reputation. I know some people don't like Ledger. Some people think that there's backdoors. Some people think that there's just bad things going on. But truly, if you use Ledger for what it's intended for, you'd never use Ledger Recover. Never, never use that. That is literally giving up your seed phrase basically to third parties. Never do that. But if you are using Ledger just for what it's intended for, especially if it's only for Kaspa, it's pretty much as secure as you can get, because you only need to download the Kaspa app to your Ledger device. Once you do that, you never have to interact with Ledger Live again. You just interact with Cas Vault. And then another con is it does cost about $80. So some people may think this is more on the pricey side, but I mean, you're paying for the convenience of having your funds fully protected. And in my opinion, Ledger is what I use for the bigger holdings of my Kaspa. I personally do use all three of these cold storage devices to hold my long-term bags. I do not use any hot wallets for long-term bags. I only use the hot wallets for short-term bags for Kaspa that I want to basically give to people and just kind of keep like $100 at most on hot wallets. Now the cold storage devices, Ledger, I would keep the most money on just simply because of preference. Some people just like Tangem. They only use Tangem, and that's okay too. But personally, I just like to be as safe as possible and spread my holdings around 3 different wallets just so that I could protect myself. In case anything happens, I do have other alternatives and not all my Kaspa is gone or not accessible if something was to happen, but the likelihood of something happening is very, very low. So this is how I rank the top wallets that I believe people should be using from least favorable to most favorable. There's links down below to getting a one key or getting a Tangem if you're interested in those. And I do receive a commission if you do use my code for those. So I really do appreciate if you guys look into those and use that, but please do your research. I have videos explaining all these wallets in detail and showing how they work. So please do your research before you make your decision. But these are the different wallets that you should be considering to hold your Kaspa completely offline. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here. And as always, don't be average, be different.